A very beautiful morning to you, right here from the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9, 35 minutes, gone past the hour of 9, and it's about time we look through the front pages of our Nigerian newspapers, get a perspective on the trending stories with analysis from our analyst and feedback from you as well. It's an opportunity for you to lend your thought and perspective, concerns regarding what is currently going on with the state of our dear nation. My name is Victor Onyedikachi. I'll be taking stories from the Vanguard, Nigerian Tribune, the Nation's newspaper, and The Punch. Be reminded that we're streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube at Solutions 939 FM, so you get to react to stories that are of great concern to you and share perspective to these stories. You can use either the social media platforms where we're streaming, YouTube and Facebook. Otherwise, you could send in messages via WhatsApp to the number 0904 422 2939. We start off this morning with the Vanguard newspaper. Power generation reverses gains, dips by 45.4% to 2,753 megawatt. Shetima inaugurates $115 million upgraded West Africa container terminal. China to help Nigeria fight money laundering, terrorism financing. Nigeria, China move to revive local currency swap. Nnamdi Usman emerge interim chairman of Labour Party. Petrol price hike. Nasima, LCCI, NECA worry over jobs and the economy. These are the stories on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. And over to the Nation's newspaper, Abure clashes with OT. Obi over setting up of interim ESCOs. NEC gives FCT Kwara 3 others Monday deadline on state police. Chinese firm to build Lekki Ekpe link bridge. Sanwo-Olu signs sparked. The biggest story on the Nation's newspaper reads, queues persist. Commuters stuck despite petrol price hike. NLC presidential aide disagree over claim. Man, LCCI list effect. MBA TUC kick. Federal government kicks off consumer credit with 500,000 beneficiaries. These are the stories on the front page of the Nation's newspaper. Let's now take you through on the stories that made the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. North is ready for constitutional changes. ACF. LP crisis. Nnamdi Usman named as caretaker committee chairman. Abure kicks says Abia expanded stakeholders meeting unconstitutional. Perpetrators of Yobe killings will be brought to justice, Tinubu. Northern governors condemn Mafia attack, call for intensified security efforts, swift justice. Cholera, 342,000 cases, 2,400 deaths recorded this year, says WHO. Gunmen kill 11 in Plateau communities. Bill Gates announces $2.8 billion investment in Nigeria. Nigeria and China move to revive local currency swap. The biggest story on the Tribune paper reads, NBA, Nasima, LCCI, Man, PDP fought petrol price hike. Right to that, this is a brutal assault on Nigerians' PDP. More riders. Hike may impact manufacturing, force SMEs to shut down, cause for the job losses. Man, LCCI 1. NBA calls for immediate reconsideration. And now to insecurity. Bandits impose heavy levies on farmers to access land. Boko Haram worsens hunger crisis in northern Borno. State Police, Kwara, Sokoto, Adamawa, KB delay NEC decision. Get Monday deadline to submit report. Council set up flood disaster committee. States get 3 billion naira to ameliorate effects. These are the stories on the front page of the Tribune paper. And finally, the last paper for this morning is the Punch newspaper. NEC fears poor harvest as flooding kills 205. Nigeria's economy has stagnated. Bill Gates. Shatima inaugurates $115 million West Africa container terminal upgrade in Rivers. Petrol scarcity. NMPCL bars independent marketers amid surge in prices. 3 PMS vessels arrive. Transport fares jump as major marketers raise fuel prices. State police. NEC to brainstorm on 32 states report. PDP shift NWC meeting over governors and Wike's tension. Abura rejects OT's 29-man peace panel. Nigeria police will torture and kill me if I surrender. Wanted Britain. Arms importation. Federal government declares emergency in Oni port. These are the stories on the front pages of the Nigerian newspapers. We've been able to give you highlights from the Punch, the Nation, the Tribune, and the Vanguard newspaper. Right after this, we'll be joined by our analysts to give us detailed report on these major stories. Remember that you can send in your concerns and your feedback using the social media platforms on Facebook as well as WhatsApp and regular text messages. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. All right, welcome back. It's still the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9 FM, and this morning we're joined by our analyst, Comrade Adeji Ajishope. Good morning to you, sir. It's great to have you join us. Hello, Comrade, can you hear me? Hello, Comrade. Comrade, can you hear me? Hello? All right, I'll try to reconnect with Comrade Adeji this morning as he brings us analysis on the stories we would be addressing this morning. Be reminded once again that we're live on Facebook as well as YouTube at Solutions 939 FM. And we're going to start off with the current challenge we're faced with regards to the availability and the skyrocketing of prices with our premium motor spirits. Comrade, can you hear me now?
I lost you again.
Can you hear me now?
Wow.
Hello? How about now? Can you hear me? Hello?
I lost you again.
All right. There seems to be a challenge with connection. Hopefully we get through to Comrade. As I was saying, we're going to start off this conversation with PMS, because that is what concerns a lot of Nigerians. Comrade, can you hear me now?
Loud and clear now.
Very well. Thank you for joining us once again. How are you doing today?
I'm good. And you, I hope you are better than yesterday.
I'm very well, thank you. But of course, the conversation on petrol scarcity, the persistence of the queues at different filling stations, the NNPC saying they're unaware of the surging of price, and now we're seeing a report on the Punch newspaper saying NNPCL bars independent marketers amid surging price. This is even as 3 vessels berthed at the Akpapa Lagos jetty on Wednesday to discharge imported petrol. Can you give us more insight as to why the NNPCL is, barring independent marketers with the increase in the prices of the premium motor spirit?
I think what is happening is there is a transition. You just mentioned the fact that, vessels are still brassing. Those vessels that you see brassing are from transshipment. Those vessels, the ones they call mother vessels, that actually bring in those products up. Some of them are so big that they cannot come into our port. So what you see offloading is transshipment. The mother vessel and then the smaller vessels, you see them are off Takwa Bay, discharging. Okay. So those are the ones that have been ordered, earlier. You understand? We are in transition from importation to local production by Dangote, and hopefully very soon, Port Harcourt Refinery has joined, but of course their products are not out yet. And when NNPC says they are not aware of surging prices, you see, that should not be strange to us anymore. Government will be in denial of the reality and then come out to admit that reality that they are denying. They were denying that they were not owing anybody for imported products.
Absolutely.
They came out eventually to agree that what had been in the public space, that they were owing up to $6 billion, they came out to agree, with the obvious. So if they say they are in denial, those are official statements. And official statements are usually a far cry from reality. It's like when there's a riot, they say municipals report that 106 people have been killed, and the police comes around and says only 6 bodies have been, reported to be in morgues. You understand? So that is the disparity between our own reality and the official reality. They call it the alternative reality. You understand? But so they know the reality. They live within this space. Even when some of them get PMS from dumps, all those who work in NNPC, most of them who work in NNPC, they get PMS from dumps. Their offices have dumps. It is always like that. Institutions have dumps. So they may be far away from reality. Some of them use official cars, whose drivers or even those who use it go to collect PMS at official rates. Look, in those refineries that you see, most of the workers will be getting gas free. I don't know whether Dangote is flaring gas. You understand? I don't know whether they are flaring gas. They are not likely to flare gas like NNPC does. NNPC has been flaring gas since 1956 in the days of Oloibiri. Dangote is not likely to do that. Dangote is likely to maximize that because this is a private enterprise. So I want to hope. You see, some of these things, we're going to, on Sunday, by God's grace, on Pendulum, we're going to be hosting, hopefully, somebody from the industry and who is top up in the industry. So that, let them unravel what looks like a mystery to Nigerians. What are the variables that go into it? Now, how much stock feed, the one they call crude oil, is Dangote getting locally or will be getting effective October? Will he be getting 650,000 barrels per day? It is unlikely. Will he be importing? If he's importing crude, of course, there are factors, cost implications of that. shipment, transshipment, and other costs. You understand?
Mm.
So this will go into the cost of production too. So that is how we can get a picture of, the cost of production. We have to put all of it together. That is what we're going to get. Because when NNPC is saying they're going to be the sole off-taker, that is still regulation. Why would Dangote agree to that? Is Dangote agreeing to that so that Dangote will not look like a bad guy? You understand? Because if he puts his cost of production together and it is above the 600 or, even above the 800 that 855 NNPC has fixed. So is still there going to be subsidy? Because if the landing cost of what was brought in or is still being brought in is 1,200, all these variables, you swap, they say you are swapping crude. And the only thing we get from what we swap is PMS. What happens to the other many, many byproducts of crude oil? And what are the relationship between the crude and the PMS that we get? So I think we need to unravel this. These are mysteries, and they do not need to be mysteries because we are not, NNPC is not a secret cause. You understand? And
Absolutely.
it is owned by Ministry of Finance and what do they call the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, which are owned by the federal government. And of course, invariably, the federal government is owned by Nigerians. So why should there be, secrecy in all of this? So I think we need to bring in insiders to unravel, especially the cost of production.
Give us some level of transparency. And it begs my next question. Is it safe to say that the presidency has been laissez-faire with this current situation of the hike in PMS? I mean, the president doubles as the Minister of Petroleum, and up until this moment, we're yet to hear anything with regards to the way forward or how this issue is being handled. We understand that he's in China, and we talked about this yesterday. If this is the best time to be outside the country, when the country is faced with a lot of trouble, people are finding it very difficult, to eat. People are finding it very difficult to buy fuel. People are finding it difficult to get transportation. I mean, the NBA, Nasima, and other stakeholders have come out to say that there will be an increase in job losses. But we're not hearing from the presidency, neither have we heard from the president himself. I mean, the NNPCL, of all statement they could make, they came out to tell us that they are unaware of the surge in price. That doesn't even show any level of empathy. How are you in this country with everything? That's the most talked about issue as it is in Nigeria across the federation, and you come out to say you're unaware of a surge, that you're not even having an increase in your price. Is it not laissez-faire to the plight of Nigerians?
I think I will like to, link a sort of link between the administration of Ibrahim Babangida, you understand, who was in office from 1985 to 1993. I think that administration lapsed into a situation in which they thought they understood Nigerians so well. You see, they say we are elastic, we will adjust. We are not elastic. I think we're just docile. I think we are a religious people without being godly. Even in the scripture, I usually share this thing. When in the situation of to a father who inadvertently blessed a child, and the other child was saying, "Father, bless me," and the father said, "Okay, you will do this, you will do that," but when the yoke is becoming too much of a burden for you, you will throw it off. Yorubas will say when you are driving a goat and the goat gets to the wall, the goat will turn around to defend itself. I think people are still just, adjusting. They are working, Abby. Maybe they are working. They are working because you have a certain X amount of money, and then you suddenly discover that X amount of money, as you planned it, will not cover the ground, that you have planned. Then you make adjustments. You walk a kilometer or two. Initially, they will say it is good for your health, Abby. When when you start working it, maybe you are compelled to. You see, the president, I think, okay, let me give you another example. The president, during the end bad governance and end hunger, you know, demonstration, they say he was not addressing the nation. He was not here to have addressed the nation. And the man came out to address the nation. And he did his back and forth. He ended up saying nothing. He did not address the issues. He just, you know, okay, you want me to address you? Okay, I will address you. And I will say nothing. You know, you say a lot of things and then you end up saying nothing. There was nothing to hold like this. That this is what the president said, to ameliorate the condition of the people. I think they are laid back. You are right. Believe you me, you are right. Shebi Bayo Onanuga came out. Bayo Onanuga came out and said, what is it? The president never made any promises to labor. And yet labor, after those agreements, they were singing solidarity forever and they were doing gosa gosa to the president. What were they doing gosa gosa for? Shebi it is when you have received something that you will hail the other party. Right. So why were they singing Monday or your Monday? Somebody even said they were singing or your Monday, we shall start. I think they believe they have us where they want to have us. That Nigerians are not going to do. Honestly, Nigerians are not going to do anything. Nigerians are just going to adjust. I was speaking with somebody yesterday. I can't remember who exactly now. Yeah, it's a professor. It's a professor of agronomy. A professor of agronomy. And who should know where the issues of food and all of that are. He told me yesterday evening. He said for 7 weeks there was no rain. The second round of grain, and I mean corn, the one we call corn, and the farms, they got burnt out. 7 weeks. He said, don't think that all those light showers and cool weather that we saw in those 7-8 weeks, they don't work for grain too. They don't work for corn. He said they got burnt on the farm. You know the implications of that. They either burnt or stunted. The production is not, the yield is not up to what is expected. The consequences will be, there will be shortages by November, December, January, February. There will be shortages. So what the little relaxation in prices of food that we have now is weather assisted, the first wave of harvest. So the issue of food is still there. And you compound it with cost of PMS and other factors. That is energy. Then the cost of power. You know they've been increasing the cost of power without telling us.
Yes.
So all of that. Resumption, students will be resuming depending on the state where you are. In Lagos, they will be resuming next week. In Oyo, they will be resuming middle of the month. And you can imagine a parent that has 2-3 young adults commuting back and forth from school every day. Distances you cannot walk. Some of the parents will not have the children to walk half of the distance and laugh themselves. And you know, those are the things that will breed discontent, among the youth. Because you have to explain to those children why they have to walk some distance. All those whose parents used to drive them to school every morning, and then some other days they will say, we can only pick you, drop you in the morning now. You have to find your way home in the afternoon. Or maybe it's only the afternoon we have to drop you. No, these are the things that, and you have to explain to them.
Comrade,
parents who,
speaking of food, let's just move to the next story. Bill Gates has announced $2.8 billion investment in Nigeria. So that's a development that we would have to continue tomorrow. Apparently, it's 30 minutes for today.
Yes, it's 10 a.m. already.
Yes. So we'll have to continue with that tomorrow because you've touched on food, and Bill Gates has announced, $2.8 billion to address healthcare, nutrition, and agricultural sector in order to improve our food security. Let's hope that this money is utilized in that regard. Thank you so much for your thoughts.
Analysis
Absolutely. Tomorrow we'll have ample time for that. Thank you very much, Comrade.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye.
Well, that's how we wrap from the dailies this morning. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, with more stories from the Nigerian newspapers. My name is Victory Onyedikachi. Good morning.